Melinda Schmidt-Connect here today for Work Together Wednesday. Getting a little bit of a late start today because I had technical difficulties, and then my son Max needed to use my video camera for his bass lesson. Family comes first. What are you going to do? But today's topic are Zoom tips, which some of them apply just to video recording in general. I'm going to talk about lights and green screen and show you kind of the equipment that I'm using. And then my Zoom tip is about trying to keep eye contact when you're having video meetings. So let me share with you. Please, if you're here, please say hello so that I know you're watching. And if it's the replay, please put in #replay. I encourage you to do this no matter whose video you're watching. It really is helpful to know when you put something out there that people are getting value from it and that they've seen it. All right, so this is a picture I took of my desk setup. I started off with 2 photographer umbrellas. It's diffuse light, so the light points away from you, and then the umbrella pushes the light back to you, so it's diffuse light. My little square light that I have on the other side, also, it's hard to tell in this picture, but it has a diffused filter on it, and you can change the tone from warm to cool. So this is the lighting that I like. I had the 2 photographer umbrella lights on stands, but they took up so much space. The tripods and the legs took up so much space that I wound up zip tying one of the lights to, I have a dual monitor, so zip tied it to the arm of the second monitor. And then I'll show you what it looks like from the back side. So, and then I have just a little clamp that goes on the edge of my desk and holds the little rectangular light. That was an Amazon Prime special for $28, and it's LED. And then you see my little camera there, my external camera. My external camera is much, much better than my built-in camera, even on my big old iMac that I have, which is huge. So if you can get an external camera, that helps with camera quality. And you can see my green screen. I'm still using the Photographer Studio green screen behind me. That is, I bought the entire setup for $160 a couple of years ago. So it comes with the poles and the legs, the tripod for the green screen with a black backdrop, as well as a white backdrop and 2 umbrella lights, and also another light that you can put a box diffuser screen on. So it was quite a bit of equipment, and you probably don't need all of that equipment unless you're recording videos on a regular basis like I do for my business. But lighting is so important. It's so important for your green screen. That helps keep your image crisp, and also keeping your green screen as flat as possible. If you do have a cloth green screen and you have folds in it, then that causes issues and makes it not show up well. So those are the main things for a lighting setup. If you don't have room for the tripod with the legs, you can get a retractable green screen that pulls down like a regular projector screen. I'm about to order one of those that actually pulls up from the bottom, sits on the ground, and then pulls up from the bottom. Or the green screen itself, if you're using a virtual background, I get compliments on my virtual background all the time, and the quality of it, the brightness, the color. So if you're using a virtual background, you can just buy the green screen sheet for 20 bucks and tack it to your wall. If it's something that you're going to be using frequently. So it can be inexpensive to get a studio set up. You don't have to have dual lights like I do. You could have just one ring light that goes around your video camera. So find what works for you as far as the lighting setup, but I do think lighting is very important. And there are times, I've got 2 windows in my office over here. There are times when it's a sunny day, I have to close the blinds because the sunshine is throwing off my lighting balance, so that I'm just using my studio lights. So you might think about that as well. Another tip that I have is related specifically to Zoom. So let me switch over to Zoom. and show you what I'm talking about here. If you are in a one-to-one meeting, then this is the tip, the number one tip that I encourage you. Well, first of all, my camera is sitting on the top of my screen. So I do encourage you to have your camera elevated. If you have a regular laptop or computer without a camera and you're using your phone or a tablet, some other device for the actual video feed, I do recommend that you have it elevated so that you can look at your screen and the video camera without looking down. I'm in a lot of meetings with people where they're looking to the side when they're talking to the camera, but otherwise they're looking away from me to view whatever we're screen sharing. So if you can at all possible, get that video device in front of you and up high instead of in your lap. That's not the most flattering angle, which you may not care about, but I do. I don't care for, an angle that's looking from the chin up the nostrils. It's much more flattering to have your video camera up looking down. And if you can get it, eye level, mine's a little bit higher. I'm looking up to get to eye level. But here's my tip for this. Exit out of this full screen mode. And I've got on here so I can simulate, this is my cell phone that's logged in on this Zoom meeting, so I can simulate, having two people. Then minimize this as small as you feel comfortable that you can still see the facial expressions communicating with this person, and move it directly under your camera so that you are looking and making eye contact easily while you're looking and seeing what the other person is saying. And even if there's, a sharing, if you have a dual monitor like me and the screen share is in a separate window, you can exit out of full screen from that and minimize it. So in my weekly networking groups, you're welcome to join me if you haven't done online networking. I'd love to have you at one of our weekly networking groups. I will sometimes move the gallery with all of the 35 people, which don't all fit on the screen, but I'll have those kind of over here. And then the presentation screen that's being shared, I will minimize it. Sometimes I have it on my dual other monitor up here because I have a lot going on. Or I have notes open where I'm taking notes, and so I might have this presentation screen on my other monitor. But I like to have both of them on the same screen, so it's easy I'm not turning my head so far if I'm looking at the presenter's screen. And that would be my setup if I'm in a large group Zoom call. So I hope that you find these tips helpful. I am planning on recording a mini lesson that will go into many more Zoom tips. I will be sharing specifically different types of equipment and their pricing to help you make a determination what's a good fit for you. And I have many more do's and don'ts for video meetings and video recording. So if that training is something that you're interested in, please put the word interested in the comments of this video, and I will let you know when that training becomes available. Thanks for joining me today. See you next week.